Okay. So we are skipping into chapter 9 simply because we need to get some stuff done before the end of the year. And so we're going to do different sections that apply to things that you're going to be asked on the final. So, okay, depreciation. So depreciation is obviously the value, that something loses. So a book value is just what did you pay for it and how much has it depreciated. So there's different methods. There's declining balance where there's a specific rate every year or whatever. And then there's the sum of the years, and it literally is just adding and subtracting, or adding the years together. Anyway, and then there's modified accelerated cost recovery system, and that's what the government generally uses. And it has a set amount of years that you can depreciate stuff because you can use it on your taxes. So that's why there's a set amount. And I have your assignment right there because I didn't want to use another slide. So anyway, okay, so declining balance method. So this one is basically what percent does it decline, and then you just subtract it and keep going. So let's see. Okay, so we have a van, costs $16,000 and estimated to depreciate 20% each year. What is the estimated book value of the truck at the end of the first and second years? So year one, at the beginning of year one, it is worth, let me find a different pen. Okay. So year one, it's still worth $16,000. And then we're going to multiply it by 20%. So then 16,000 times 20% is $3,200. And then we'll subtract it because now it's not worth that much. So year two, it's going to start at $12,800. And then they lose 20% of that, not the $16,000 again. So 20% of that is $2,560. So it says, what is the estimated book value of the truck at the end of the first and second years? So if you go ahead and go 16,000 minus the 3,200, which we kind of already did, is the 12,800. So that's year one. And then subtract the 2,560. Is $10,240. So that's what it's worth. Sorry. That's what it's worth at the end of year two. Okay, so then we have a forming machine that costs $45,000. It's depreciated each year at the rate of 8%. What's the book value at the end of the second year? So we do 45,000 times 8%. Oops. So subtract that. So 41,400 times 8% again. Sorry, I'm kind of rushing. 3,312. So then if we just subtract that, we can get the book value at the end of the second year. So $38,088. Okay, is the book value at the end of the second year. Okay, so that's declining balance. Then sum of the year's digit method. So this one, it really isn't that hard. It's just kind of, I don't know, tedious or whatever. Okay, so the largest depreciation happens more at the beginning of the years that you're depreciating it. So if you're depreciating for 5 years, you add the 5 years together. So 1 plus 2, 3, 4, 5 is 15. So that's going to be your denominator. So then year 1, you're actually going to want to start. So basically, you start back here and go forward. So we have a lathe that is costing $16,000, and it'll be used for 5 years. And then it'll be traded in for an estimated $8,500. So you cannot depreciate the entire $16,000. You have to subtract what they will be getting for it, because it's not legal to depreciate something completely and then still make money. So when you sell it, so we do, I'm going to move this over just a little bit. So 16,000 minus 8,500. So $7,500 is the total depreciation. So then we have to figure out how much of that is attributed to each year. Okay? So year 1, after we added those, so we got 15. So year 1 is going to be 5 out of 15 times 7,500. Okay? And then the second year, because we want at the end of the second year, and so I'm not going to do the math quite yet. So we're going to do 4/15 times 7,500. So then we can do the math. So 5 divided by 15 times 7,500. So $2,500. And then 4 divided by 15 times 7,500 is 2,000. So it wants the book value. So the depreciation so far after 2 years is going to be 4,500. So 16,000 is what it was worth at the beginning, minus the 4,500. $11,500 is the book value. Okay. So then they have a hydraulic winch. Okay, sorry about that. So they bought a hydraulic winch for this much. They plan to use it for 6 years and trade it in for $4,500. So again, they can't depreciate it to 0. So we have to subtract that and find out how much they're allowed to depreciate. Okay. So that's total depreciation. Okay, so then 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, which really, if we had 15 up here, we would just add 6 and we get 21. So 21 is the denominator. So we are going to do 6 over 21 for year 1. And we want end of the second year. So times the total allowed depreciation. And then 5 out of 21 times 19,100. 6 divided by 21. So $5,457.14. 345 divided by 21 times 19,100 is $4,547.62. So if we add those two together, it's $10,004.76. So then we would take that away from the 23,000 because that's what it was worth when they started. So at the end of 2 years, that winch is worth $13,595.24. Okay. All right. So then we have the macros, whatever. Okay. So this is something that is used for business property placed in service after 1986. Okay. The number of years you depreciate depends on certain things. So we have cars, trucks, and office equipment. We have office furniture and fixtures. So this one's worth stuff for 5 years and then 7 years. So the deal with this is you use this method if you are literally depreciating it down to the point where it's not worth anything. So this will go all the way down to zero if you go all the years. Okay. So we have Elena bought a business truck for $19,000. Find the depreciation for each year and what is its book value at the end of the class life. So this is a car, truck, equipment. So the first year is 20%. So I'm just going to go ahead and change it to its decimal, and then 32%, then 19.2%, 11.52%, 11.52%, and then 0.0576. Okay, and the reason that there's actually 6 here is that year one, it could be a month old. So you technically can get like a month old before you do your taxes or whatever. So there's actually 6 of them. Okay, so this is always going to be 19,000 because that was the original cost. So that's what you're going to multiply by. Okay, so here we go. So 19,000 times 20%, 3,800. 19,000 times 32%, 6080. 19,000 times 0.192 is 3648. 19,000 times 0.1152, so 2188 and 80 cents. Same thing again because it's the same percentage. And then 19,000 and that is 104.40. Okay, so you add them all together and you will get $19,000. Okay, so book value at the end of class life, 0. Because it depreciated 19,000, it's worth the 19,000, you subtract them, and it literally is worth nothing at the end. But if you're going to do that, you also can't sell it either. Okay? So again, your assignment is 345, 7 to 21, and skip 18 and 19.